What's up YouTube, my name is Dest. This is my dog Lua and today she's going to be with us while we talk about the things that I dislike about my Kawasaki 2026 ZX-6R. If you haven't seen my last video, I talked about the 7 things that I love the most about this beautiful bike. And for today's video we're going to do the opposite. We're going to talk about the things that I dislike. I don't know where this dog is going. Lua! Lua! Okay. So I've made a list about the things that I dislike about this bike. Honestly, it was a hard thing to do because this bike is close to being perfect. So it was hard to find things that I dislike about it. But I managed to do a little list of the things that I dislike about this bike. So yeah, we're going to talk about them today. To start off, I want to talk about the cruise control. This bike doesn't have cruise control and honestly, it's the thing that I dislike the most about this bike. Because for example, when I have to do a long trip on the highway, it's exhausting to be the whole time on my throttle. Especially on a sports bike, like not only my lower back will start feeling awful, also my wrist. And honestly, that's something that could be fixed with only adding cruise control to the bike. So yeah, that's the first thing that I would love that Kawasaki added to this bike. The second thing I want to talk about, it's not a big deal, but honestly it pisses me off a little bit. And it is that the quick shifter that this bike has installed, it's only to go upwards. You cannot use it to go down. By that I mean that, for example, I can go from first gear to second, but I cannot downshift from second to first. And honestly, it's not a big deal. It's not the biggest deal in the world, but it would be a great detail if Kawasaki thought about that and included a both-sided quick shifter. That would turn an already awesome bike into an excellent, perfect bike. But yeah, as I said, it's not the biggest deal on the world because I think it's more important to be able to quick shift upwards than to downshift, both for the roads and for the track. So if you're asking for a double-sided quick shifter, it's only for luxury. For the next thing on this list, I want to talk about the colors of the bike. Don't get me wrong, I love the colors that this bike has, especially the green one. I think the green one looks gorgeous, but I wanted a black bike, so I chose a black version. And my biggest problem with it is that if you look closely, you can see that this part, it's not black, it's kind of gray. And if you also look closely, you can notice that the black parts have like a kind of shine on it. And if you add the green stickers, yeah, it's a weird combo in my opinion. I don't think it looks bad because honestly I really love how this bike looks. But yeah, I'm planning on painting this bike completely black and white. You will see the progress of that both in the channel and on Instagram. And I think it doesn't look bad, but I will turn this bike into something more beautiful. Because yeah, as I said, it doesn't look awful, but I think it can look a lot better. For the next thing on the list, we need to remove both of the seats. And I want to talk about this little friend right here. In case you don't know it, this is called a servo motor. And this has some wires that, as you can see, go through here and appear here again, and they connect to the exhaust. And here there is an exhaust valve, and what this exhaust valve does is that it closes and it opens so that the exhaust generates less gases and it can appeal to the Euro 5. I don't think that in the USA you have this, but in Europe this is a thing that most bikes have nowadays. And if you want to change the exhaust, you will have to remove it as I did. And honestly, it's not something that it's good to deal with because it can be pretty annoying. But if you've done a little bit of mechanics throughout your life and you know what you do, it's pretty simple. You can do it in literally 5 minutes. Now we need to turn the lights on. And the thing I want to talk about now is these headlights. Yes, they look awesome. For me, the frontal of this bike, it's one of the most beautiful frontals out of any bike. But something that I don't like about these headlights is that at nighttime they are a little bit useless. What I mean with this is that yeah, you will be able to see, but for example in my case, I ride a lot in the nighttime because in my Instagram I create mostly nighttime content, so I have to ride a lot in the nighttime. So if you have to ride in a road that it's completely dark because it doesn't have any kind of street lights, you will be able to see it widely but not far. And that's honestly a big problem for me because in order to get to my home I have to go through a zone that it's not lighted at all. And so honestly it's sometimes a big deal to go through that road with these headlights because I literally cannot see when the corner is coming. This is a problem that it's fixable pretty easily. You only need to grab the light and point it a little bit upwards, but you have to be careful to not point it a lot upwards because then you will blind everyone in the road. I know that practically all the things that I'm talking about in this video are minor problems, but you have to remember I said at the beginning of the video that this bike it's almost perfect. So it was pretty hard to find things that I dislike about it. The things I'm saying in this video are not because I don't like this bike. I'm only exposing them for the sake of the video and also for the sake of the people that want to get a ZX-6R, so that you can know what bad things this bike has. Now we finished with the main points that I wanted to talk about, and now we're going to make some honorable mentions. I want to talk about the mirrors. Yeah, they are not ugly, but they are not beautiful either. Honestly, I usually take the mirrors off in every bike that I own. And yeah, I'm concerned that that's not the best thing to do because it's kind of dangerous. But in my opinion, bikes without mirrors look a million times better. And for the second honorable mention, I want to mention how gas consuming this bike is. I know I shouldn't be talking about this because obviously it's a sports bike. Obviously it will consume a lot of gas. But with all the problems of the gas prices that we're having lately, it's something that you have to take into account. If you're thinking about getting a sports bike, you either will have to have some money prepared to spend in gas, or you will have to wait until this problem is fixed. But yeah, as I said, this is something quite obvious because we are talking about a sports bike.